Yeah, of course. And why should I think something else? I don't need to think of anything else. I have to think of things that I feel that somehow will benefit me. The benefits, the balances of life is very much something that is very important. But I mean, when people are in that state of the victorious state, they don't think along that line. They don't really see it that way. Even if they do, it's entirely that person's, you know, choice of or whatever. It could be like they don't have him. It doesn't happen much often. Sometimes it does happen, but not much often. Because everybody in that any level thinks that it is necessary. I think it is necessary to think the way I'm thinking. But it's also necessary to open up your scope of understanding, or let's say your tolerance in certain ways, to be able to give room to see what really can be right to be done. Analyze it. I mean, I'm trying to point out, and I think it's okay, but I don't see it as my view, just my view. I'm also looking from any other person's view. I'm trying to talk on the level of putting myself in the same shoes of every angle, but it's the health, the angle of the rich person and the place of the poor person. And I'm trying to analyze and see that what is the best way. I'm pointing out certain things such as facts and truth in the books for you, which insights. I'm also giving you analysis in the grounds of you realizing that I myself, in certain way, I'm not being biased of being one-sided of black people or Africans and against the white man or the Asian, or no. I point out, and clearly I'm pointing out, but from both sides. If you're an Asian, you're black, you're whichever way it is, don't look at me as that kind of person, of a black person standing in a viewpoint of what black people have. No, I'll tell you about my experience. I'll tell you about my history. I'll tell you about all that. I'll tell you the history of the other two and why they also do that thing, and possibilities of what might lead them to do what they did. And those are some of the options I gave when it came to giving, analyzing things of the slave trade and what happened. And I'll point you the source. It's the book, which today most Africans also depend on the same book. And if they had to travel to, let's say, this country, or I come to this country, what are my viewpoints? There are so many viewpoints of others. People are mounting churches, taking over churches, or hiring churches of these UK countries or less American countries, and using it to incite people to become Christians and accept those ways of moving. Sometimes say, claim what is yours, claim it is yours, and all that. It's the same attitude and strength that it was done before, at all long time ago. But they also were incited to do what they are doing. They believed they were doing something right, something good. Now, what has it ended up? It has become something good for them. They became victorious. They earn. You become victorious. You earn what you have to earn. They have succeeded. So those who have not succeeded, obviously, are not happy. Because I'm not going to live the rest of my life in the shadows of a master who continually will disregard anything I say, that looking at me, even disgust him or her. I'm sure you know the picture of what I'm talking about. It may be a black master or a white master. As long as that master of yours is there, he sees you and thinks of you as. It's not everybody who is like that anyway. There are people who, despite their power and they rather adapt you to help you, both white and black. There are people who have that nature, that they take some black people and, after humanitarian grounds, they take them at their own. If he's a grown up, they see you as a brother. They move with you. If you are like a child, they take you as their own daughter, and they take care of you like their own. Help you to get something in life, to succeed. There are people like that. But majority, the evil that I said, the negativity which dominates us, came out of the inciting of these words and all that. At the end of the day, has generated more of evil than good. more of that characters that they make see you with a disguise, a disgust eyes, like you are disgusting to them. You're disgusting to them. You're sort of the hateful nature of look, a gesture of hatred. They sort of you look at you and it's like some nasty thing. They don't even, not in an attractive way, not in a nicer way, and so forever you are in such a state of such person because you are in need. And if you're in that situation, you won't consider yourself, being very happy. You have your resentment. You will have your own mindset, your own vendettas, whichever way things stands round. You would like to, prove or pay back. That's it. But if you have people who genuinely, most people move to certain countries where they feel that racism has been crushed, and people will come to Britain because of that. People will not go to Germany because they feel Germany are still critical. They still have this strong sense of foreigners being aliens, and foreigners not to be allowed to sort of become the same like a German. Unless you become a German, like you end up, and that requires a lot of submission that you wouldn't even believe. It's like your whole entire soul or life will be changed. Some transformation of which you will never even know that some black person will go and live in another country, and when he comes, Germany, London, America, and he comes out of there, he's completely that nature. You will see a debate of a black person, but he's debating like a white man. You won't believe it. Such people sometimes, when they fall into a state of their color betraying them and being racially discriminated against, you see them crying. It pains them, it hurts them, because they know they forgot themselves to be black, or they forgot themselves to be white, and they thought they were completely white, or they're completely black now, and they forgot the skin of the color. And when they are being given away or being treated in a bad manner, they start, it hurts them. Sometimes they probably want to kill themselves. Maybe he's got a mixed nature background. Yeah. You go to South Africa, you see some whites who were backing the black people, and they go among some blacks and they got betrayed, and they say, he feels as if all his time he has trusted black people. He was being behind them to crush his own white people, or to sort of, and now look at how they treated me or how they did that. You get disappointed. The same with black people, who turns out to take up the white dominated sort of character and sort of begin to speak and debate along that line, and humiliate their own black people, and they go. Sometimes they end up realizing that the white people sort of betray them, and they get left out, and you see them in tears and disappointed and worried. It's sad, because over time you can be convinced and be changed. That is a possibility, but that doesn't matter. People changing and not changing, you stay as you are. If you're a chicken, stay as a chicken. If you're a goat, you stay as a goat. There's no difference. It's necessary for you to stay as you are, because if it wasn't necessary, nature would not produce you. You were produced that way because that is what requires for you to be, to help the environment to stay as it is. So you don't know what the details of how important your living or your surviving is to the human race, or to society, or to the environment that you dwell in. That apple tree does not know how valuable his presence is to this environment. So is it also that black person does not know how important it is. The white man also doesn't know. But if humans goes as far as other people, disregarding other people's presence, and wants to take their life away, or sort of end the life of the other, because they feel that that person's presence is not required anymore because of this or that or that. I don't know what basis of which people will come to that decision, but we have to be very careful about these things. The balances of life does matter. It goes as far as respecting people's right to live, people's right to survive. Everybody is necessary to live. Everybody have that right to sort of be there. Everybody is useful in his own small way. So whatever decision we take in those grounds, we have to really think it through. I really think that